welcome to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton. I am Connor Williams and we're back once again with another 24/7 news report video. We start this video today with our headline news, and our headline news is that Marcel Brands is likely to approach Christophe Galtier in the coming days regarding the vacant Everton manager's position. This has come from the Mirror, and this gets me excited. This gets me really excited. Obviously when the managerial job came about, I was quite open with my friends with the names linked then because he wasn't linked because he was going to go Nice. I think the names that I said were Marcelo Gallardo from River Plate. I'd really like Graham Potter from Brighton. And I think I said, out of all the rest, so the David Moyes, the Eddie Howe's, the Roberto Martinez's, I'd probably take Martinez just because he plays a bit more exciting football, and I think he surely has to have learned a lot since the last time he was in charge. That's not me saying, I'm his biggest advocate, but I liked him when he was at Everton until it all crumbled. And I like Belgium. They're my favourites to win the Euros. But that was the best of a bad bunch. If you're gonna pick him over David Moyes, Eddie Howe. But since then, I've read up about Galtier since his name's come about. I obviously knew about him with Lille because they've won the Ligue 1 this season, and it's a massive achievement, especially to beat PSG. Massive achievement. And I like him. I read a little bit more about Saint Etienne, and I really do like him. He plays a 4-4-2. He brings the kids through. He's very well known for developing youth. One of the biggest examples is Renato Sanchez. You might know him for his loan at Swansea. Didn't go too well. And now he's one of the best young midfielders on the planet. So, I think Everton could really do with someone like him. We've got a lot of good young players at the club. I'm thinking Anthony Gordon, who wasn't really Ancelotti's favourite. Tom Davis would only get better under him, I'm sure. Then you've got the likes of Niels Nkunku, who we saw bits of and looked okay in bits. You've got Gerard Branthwaite out on loan. And a couple of the other young lads, Kyle John, Ellis Sims, all done well. And he will help develop them even further and give them opportunities. He's also very good with working with a director of football, that being Luis Campos, who is, I think, a fantastic director of football, my favourite director of football. I think the guy's fantastic. He built that Monaco side that won the Ligue 1. He built the Lille side. He's just a fantastic brain. Some of the talent he's unearthed. We're talking Kylian Mbappe, Fabinho, Thomas Lemar. The guy's an absolute, and they're just to name a few. He's fantastic. So if he says that Galtier is a good pick for Everton, I believe him. And I pray that this happens. Please, Everton, just do what what I can gather on Twitter, most of the fan base want, and sign him. But this is Everton, and, if there's one thing I've learned, it's the hope that kills you. So, in the back of my head, I am fully prepared to watch Eddie Howe come out in an Everton scarf. But we have also more news from the Mirror, and the Mirror has reported that Brands will have further contact with the names on the Everton shortlist. So, Roberto Martinez is a contender, and Brands is a big fan of him. And you have Farhad Moshiri being a massive fan of Rafa Benitez and is expected to hold talks with the Spaniard. For me, I think Rafa's a big no-no, as much of a no-no as Eddie Howe. The comments he's made about the club, his links with Liverpool, and I don't think he's the type of manager we need. He's very pragmatic. He does well with what he's got. And I understand that some people think that might be what Everton need, considering, the pool we've got. But I actually think you need somebody who's going to give the youth the side and rip up some of these players and go, listen, you're not performing. There's younger, hungrier talent. Let's get them in. You out. See you later. Also, I don't know if he actually improved Newcastle that much. When you look at what Steve Bruce is doing now, they're finishing in similar positions. When now you look at him under Bruce, I think it shows that he actually, the job he was doing is capable of being done by somebody else. That's just my personal opinion. We also have that the Mirror have reported that Graham Potter has fans in the Everton boardroom, but he is an outsider's choice. And David Moyes is a favourite with Farhad Moshiri, but Everton will only make a move if given permission by West Ham. For me, firstly, Graham Potter would be my second choice. I think he's fantastic. Brighton actually haven't conceded that many goals this season, bearing in mind the squad he's got. He's brought Bazuma through and helped a couple of young players, develop. You can see through their XG that they are creating chances, they're just not finishing them. I do think they're one clinical striker away from that. I don't think Neil Maupay is actually a very good player. I think he's very temperamental and he's not clinical enough in my opinion. I think give him someone like DCL, I think you'll see more goals. But that's just my opinion. As for David Moyes, I mean, every time the Everton job comes available, you get the usual suspects. David Moyes' name's always lobbed about. Eddie Howe's has been a couple of times, and Roberto Martinez is as well. And two of them have already had a go. So I think it's quite worrying that every time we have a new manager, these names are being bobbed around in the boardroom. They're almost like a break glass emergency. And that's quite worrying that you've still got those people who've, hired them. It's not gone well and they've gone, oh no, let's give them another go. Let's do it again. No. David Moyes did a fantastic job in his tenure. Really helped stable the club. But his time has been and gone. Roberto Martinez looked promising. It fizzled out. I do like Roberto Martinez, but I think his time at the club has been and, gone. As much as I do like him, so I am a little bit worried about the same usual suspects. MOSHIRI has also given serious thought to Rafa Benitez, who he has made contact with, along with Christophe Galtier, Nuno Espirito Santo, David Moyes, Roberto Martinez and Graham Potter. This has all come via Paul Joyce on Twitter. Again, my opinions, I've just said all that on the managers. It seems a lot of talk, paper talk though, more than anything. You're getting names being spouted here, there and everywhere. I think I'm fully on the Gaultier train. Anything less, Potter I'd be happy with as well, but not as happy. Anything less than Potter I'd be quite disappointed about, in my opinion. But we'll have to wait and see what Everton do. Names are being thrown about here and there, and you can never tell which ones are being serious contenders and which ones are just paper talk. But we do have the transfer news now, and Everton and Tottenham are interested in Los Angeles and Uruguayan forward Diego Rossi. The 23-year-old is expected to cost about 10 million, and this has come by the Telegraph. I'm not going to lie and tell you guys that I've watched every game that he's ever played, and he's this, that, and the other. I haven't. I know that currently in this season he's played 5. I think he scored 3 goals, and last season he played 16, scored 9. I know that he's very small, and I know that the MLS is a different kettle of fish to the Premier League. So my worry is, could he, adapt over here, especially with the physicality? Timo Werner came from the Bundesliga and has said that it was tough to cope. And I actually think the Bundesliga is more like the Premier League style of play than any other league, around Europe. So the MLS, he's quite. I know he's quite small. Is he going to struggle? Possibly. 10 million, though, is not a lot of money. It's not cheap either, but it's not a huge amount. We're not talking 20, 30 million. We'll have to wait and see with this. Obviously, Tottenham are looking at him as well, so there is that bit of attention. He must be somewhat good if there's enough attention being drummed around him. So we'll have to wait and see what Everton do here. We also have more manager news. Would you believe it? Real Betis manager Manuel Pellegrini has emerged as a target for the Everton job. The former Manchester City boss has been contacted by intermediaries, and this is from the Mail Sport. I mean, Real Betis this season, for anyone who doesn't know, finished 6th. That's a good finish for them. I've not watched a lot of them play, a lot of their style of play though, so I can't, again, completely go, say that this is awful or brilliant, because I don't, honestly, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not fully sure. What I will say is, he's not my number one favourite. He's not, and I don't think he'll be many fans. He's a good manager and he's very experienced. I do worry that Everton will, won't be very good for his blood pressure, just because it's Everton and I don't think it's good for anyone's blood pressure. But, we'll have to wait and see. I don't think this is a, odds-on favourite. I think he's just another name being mentioned. It is slightly concerning that we made contact, because this pool of shortlist that they'd narrowed down seems to now start slowly getting bigger and bigger. And I think they just need to keep with the shortlist they have and start winding down from there. Unless someone, massive jumped into it. But I don't know if Pellegrini is that big that you start looking towards him and ignoring the rest. But we also have some final news from Sky Sports. and that is that Everton are unlikely to appoint Rafa Benitez as their new manager. This is music to my ears. Obviously, like I said, you've got other media outlets spouting that we are going to make contact, and we haven't made contact, but we're going to. And then you've got Sky Sports saying this, and this is the thing, it's loads of he said, she said, she said. So you have to just take everything you hear with a pinch of salt. I mean, I would perfectly be happy with not giving Rafa the job for reasons I've mentioned. And I hope, Farhad MOSHIRI just leaves it to Marcel Brands. Just leave Marcel Brands to do it. He's the director of football. He's signing the players, so let him, have a good input in the manager. But that is some promising news for me from Sky Sports. But that is all we've got time for today in today's video. Don't forget to like the video, share the video with your friends, your family, everyone that are, if they're Blues or not. They'll probably only like it if they are Everton fans, but that doesn't stop you telling them about us. And comment down below on anything I've discussed this video. Have you watched Diego Rossi play? Do you like him? Do you like the look of him? Do you think he'll come over here and do well? Would you take Pellegrini? Would you take Rafa? Would you take Galtier? Anything about the managerial merry-go-round that we are fully on board. Just let us know any of it. Who you want. Am I right with Rafa Benitez, or do you think I'm wrong? Perfectly happy for you guys to have the discussion down below. I enjoy reading your comments and seeing what other Everton fans are thinking. Don't forget though, you can follow me on Twitter. My Twitter will be in the description down below as always. Same with the Toffee Blues. Don't forget to go like them. They're fantastic. Every Everton news, as soon as they get it, they post it on Twitter. So if you want to keep up to date, but you don't want to wait till the video, go on there and look and follow them. There's polls, there's everything. They're great for Everton news, and they post the content they bring out. Absolutely fantastic and well worth a follow for any Everton fan. Make sure you follow them, follow me, and most importantly, guys, take care.